It's a special day for marijuana lovers across the country. In this 420 edition of ATVN, we'll take you live to one local dispensary that's lighting up.
It's always good to make sure you know how much you're taking.
We have tips for celebrating safely to how to consume unusual edibles to make sure you get home in one piece.
The women that are nervous, or the women that have not done cannabis since the 70s, or they've never done it, would feel comfortable trying our products.
And we'll meet some of the classiest potheads around.
Thanks for joining us for this special 420 edition of ATVN. I'm Jordan Winters.
And I'm Madeline Otterly. Medical marijuana has been legal in California for years, but this is the first year you can use pot without a pass from your doctor. Recreational pot has been legal since January 1st after California voters passed Prop 64 back in November 2016. But there are still some rules to follow. Users have to be at least 21 years old and can only have 28.5 grams of processed marijuana or 8 grams of concentrated cannabis. It's legal to grow a pot plant in your home, but you can't have more than 6 per household. The Californian statewide database of marijuana policies reports that 1 in 7 California cities allows recreational weed stores. About a third of cities allow any kind of pot sales, recreational or medicinal, but only 5 cities in LA County allow for the sale of recreational pot, including the city of LA. And though the drug was legalized earlier this year, the dispensary permitting process did not begin until later. The Department of Cannabis Regulation and the Cannabis Regulation Commission were responsible for these permits. The paperwork takes time to process and typically comes in 3 stages. Some businesses are acting on temporary approval permits while they wait. Reporter Aton Wallace is out at a South LA dispensary this afternoon where they're setting up for a 420 celebration. Aton?
And Maddie and Jordan, good afternoon and happy 420 to you. We're coming to you live from the Green Ghost Marijuana Dispensary here in South LA, not too far from the USC campus. And let me tell you, this place right now is actually pretty empty, as you can see. It's kind of surprising for this April 20th. But what I will tell you is, as soon as we came in, we were handed this, a huge plate of marijuana. Clearly, there's a lot of excitement here. And this place, again, the Green Ghost, is offering a lot of discounts on certain items, including various types of marijuana. As you can see, they have all sorts of marijuana right here in their holders over here. They have all these types that they give nicknames, and as you can see there on the whiteboard, this is today in honor of 420. They're giving special free tacos until 4:20 p.m. and for every marijuana that you buy, they're giving a free ½ ounce in honor of this special day. Now, we want to talk to a customer here who actually got this marijuana today, and his name is Roderick Lacey. Roderick, thanks for taking the time today.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So, first of all, talk to me. What did you buy today? What type of marijuana? And
some dank. It's like an ounce for like 80. You can't beat that nowhere else.
What does 420 mean to you? Why is it so important to be here, especially on this April 20th?
To me, it's all about healing. So I'm here for a lot of things, like for pins and plates in my arm, broken legs, stuff like that, jaw broken 3 times. So this kind of like helps the arthritis a lot. So pretty good for me. You
know, it's interesting you mentioned that. I'm curious to know what, in your mind, is the biggest misconception about marijuana and those who use marijuana?
The biggest who?
Misconception?
The misconception? Well, the ones that just out there just doing it, just for the fun of it, and get out there in front of a dispensary and try to sell it, stuff like that. That kind of break it down for the people that really need the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
All right, Roger. Well, we thank you for taking the time, and we hope you enjoy the marijuana, and it goes to good use today. So thank you for taking the time. We should let you know again that the Green Ghost Dispensary here is offering all these specials today. Again, for everything you buy here, they're going to give you a free ½ ounce of marijuana. And if you don't like the traditional type of marijuana here, they also have gummies, these special gummy infested marijuana, as well as what they call high chew marijuana. These chewables that have marijuana in it, of course, chocolate flavored there. If you want to come by, you still have a lot of time. The place closes tonight at midnight. We're live here in South LA. I'm Aton Wallace for Number Media. Let's send it back to you in the studio, Jordan and Maddie.
Thanks, Aton. While recreational marijuana in the Golden State has been legal since January 1st, there are still instances where smoking herb is not allowed.
You know all the bad things you can get from smoking a cigarette. but did you know that smoking a joint can get you a DUI?
As that PSA makes clear, DUI does not just mean driving under the influence of booze. Driving while high can also land you in jail. Annenberg Media spoke with California Highway Patrol officer about how the agency is enforcing the law.
Now that marijuana is legal, we're not saying don't do it. All we're saying is if you are going to do it, don't get behind the wheel. It goes along the same lines as alcohol. Alcohol is legal. However, once you get behind the wheel and you're driving under the influence of alcohol or marijuana, that's where it becomes an issue. If you are caught driving under the influence, you will be arrested and you're in danger to yourself as well as everybody else around you.
CHP says there is no specific way to tell if someone is under the influence of marijuana, but often their officers make the determination based on whether the driver is swerving or if they smell weed when they approach the car. CHP says it doesn't have statistics for marijuana-related DUIs or traffic deaths yet. In Los Angeles, you're allowed to smoke pot in public places or anywhere you can't smoke a cigarette. That doesn't leave a lot of places to light up. And as Annenberg Media's Ryan Thompson shows us, your apartment is probably off limits too.
Kvefe is not new to smoking weed. Lighting up has long been a part of her evening routine.
When you come home, sometimes you want to unwind, but you don't necessarily want to not get blackout drunk every night. So I just smoke a small joint.
She's asked us to conceal her identity because her job contract limits her. But now that cannabis is legal in California, Kvefe is unclear where exactly she can smoke.
On the one hand, it's legal when you're 21 and over, but then you can't smoke in public spaces. But then my housing company where I rent from also doesn't allow smoking weed inside. So it's this question of, it's legal, but you still can't really smoke anywhere.
Lawyers who know the new cannabis law say it's complicated.
Landlord that doesn't allow you to consume in the building, what are you to do?
Michael Chernis is a Santa Monica lawyer who specializes in the caveats of California's cannabis law. According to him, cannabis is likely still restricted on the grounds of most apartment buildings. But in some cases, street smoking actually is fair game.
So you can't smoke cannabis anywhere where you can't smoke cigarettes. So it's different in each municipality, and it depends on the local municipality's regulations. As a practical matter, since many people are smoking or vaping these days, it's somewhat irrelevant.
Most apartment buildings around USC have offered no guidance on where their policy currently stands. One, however, sent this email to students. It reads, "Reminder, marijuana is still illegal to consume on all Stu Hope properties."
But what are other landlords in the University Park neighborhood doing about this? We decided to phone some up to ask them how they're handling the new law. And I was wondering what the policy is for your apartment building regarding the consumption of cannabis on the property.
Well, I have no comment on that. I don't think it's in my liberty to answer that.
Most landlords we called were still unsure. But finally, one reiterated that his apartment complex, including the courtyard, is still no smoking.
Smoking usually prohibited inside a building.
And
any smoking, including regular cigarettes, any canopies or anything like that.
In the meantime, Kvefe and her other pot-smoking peers will have to roll up and smoke in secret. For Annenberg Media, I'm Ryan Thompson.
Now, Jordan, most people who use pot smoke it, but there are still plenty of other ways that you can consume the devil's lettuce. There are cookies, candies, and even recipes for cannabis butter. However, when you cook cannabis, infuse it, or add ingredients like sugar and baking mixes, it changes the nature of the drug and therefore the effects of the drug. That's why California has created laws to regulate edibles differently than buds. Individual edibles can only have a total strength of 10 milligrams of THC. There's also a limit on how much you can buy in bulk. You can only buy 100 milligrams at one time. Think about it this way. If users want to buy a bag of gummy bears and each gummy is at a maximum concentrate of 10 milligrams, they're only legally allowed to buy a bag with 10 gummies. Even though the maximum THC content is supposed to be the same regardless if it's a cookie or a tea, the effects can still vary greatly, and you have to be careful about how much you eat, because edibles can be stronger than they look.
I've experienced my friend taking too much in the beginning. Next thing you know, they're throwing up, they're just tripping out, just having the worst headaches, and it's always good to like make sure you know how much you're taking.
Try smoking cannabis first to feel that effect, and then try little dosages of edibles. If you just see a bulk amount, it may taste good, but just please slow down on it.
Experts say you shouldn't eat a whole edible in one go, and be careful how much you eat until you know how it affects you. Lawmakers are also currently discussing a bill that would ban gummy bear-shaped edibles altogether. Edibles can be especially dangerous for kids. Some local schools are having trouble keeping pot off their campuses and making sure their students stay safe. Annenberg Media's Anissa Claiborne shows us how one local principal is trying to keep his school pot-free.
Since the legalization of marijuana, high schools are now dealing with their 18-year-old students misunderstanding state laws and ignoring prohibited activities. Orange Grove High School Principal Kenny Torres discussed with me how the passing of Prop 64 affected his students and staff.
For us and our students, especially our 18-year-olds, it had a huge effect. They thought that once legalization in Southern California or in the state of California was legal, that they were going to be able to carry it on them.
Although many students were confused on the rules, one student says he knew that the school rules would stay the same.
And that just doesn't change. It is what it is. Like nowadays, cops are more mellow about bud. Like if you get caught blazing or something, it'll just be like toss it out because it's kind of legal now. But here at school, it's like states, it's the same thing.
One concern administrators have here at Orange Grove High School is that now that marijuana has been legalized, their students believe that it is now a societal norm.
More kids are starting to use, marijuana, and the whole education piece before was, hey, marijuana is the baseline drug, but it's going to lead to other things. For them, they're like, well, it can't be that bad if it's legal. No, everybody is not using marijuana now. More people are using it or dabbling in it or experimenting in it, but no, everyone across society is not using marijuana.
This new outlook on marijuana is also alarming because the marijuana students are getting is often laced.
We've had kids come into the office and we're like, what did you take? What did you take? Because they're just wigging out. Oh, I just smoked weed, or I just took a vape pen. But it was laced with something because they were way out of it. So definitely it's a concern of ours. It's a concern across the state.
The California Education Board has not released an official protocol on how to handle state laws in regards to students who say they need marijuana for medical reasons, but have instead left school districts to stick with what they know. For Annenberg Media, I'm Anissa Claiborne.
California's tech industry is playing a growing role in marijuana sales. One local startup lets you order pot from your phone and have it delivered right to your doorstep. Annenberg Media's Max Goldwasser takes us inside Ease.
This is Ease. It's not a dispensary where you can purchase marijuana products. It's an online platform created by Keith McCarty that makes it possible to get marijuana-related products delivered right to your doorstep.
From the very beginning, the technology was aimed to be really professional and frictionless to really help educate consumers about the benefits of cannabis and doing so in kind of a compliant and legal way.
Here's how it works. You visit ease.com, type in your address, and then click on Start Shopping. From there, you can look through the hundreds of available products from marijuana-infused mango juice to topical cannabis creams. Then just click Add to Cart and place order, and Ease will connect you with a local dispensary to have your product delivered in minutes.
Behind me is the Ease Command Center. Every day, 8 people sit at these desks trying to connect dispensaries to their consumers. They're responsible for making sure each of the thousands of daily cannabis deliveries in California go through without a problem.
We all lived in a world where it's like we bought pot from some guy and then somewhere probably in his mom's basement, but now it's like you have fully compliant vape carts that you can have delivered to your door.
Right now, Ease has 7 partnering dispensaries ranging from San Francisco to San Diego. Christian and Sheena say the company plans on expanding into other states in the near future. For Annenberg Media, I'm Max Goldwasser.
The introduction of delivery services shows that some cannabis companies are focusing on the luxury market. One cannabis company is trying to show that reefer can also be enjoyed in more formal settings.
This may look like a tea party proper enough for the Queen, but these women are taking tea time a little higher. For the first time, teas infused with cannabis, made by a Bay Area company, have made its way to Los Angeles. The company, Kikoko, is one of the few cannabis companies trying to meet new demands for more diverse cannabis products. Founders Amanda Jones and Jennifer Chapin specifically felt there was a need for low-dose cannabis products.
We cater to the wellness market, those that want to sleep, those that want to alleviate their pain, those that want to help their sex lives, and those that want to lift their mood. We did want to provide a range of products so that the women that are nervous, or the women that have not done cannabis since the 70s, or they've never done it, would feel comfortable trying our products.
Now, some of their teas, like Sympathy, only have 3 milligrams of THC in them, which means they won't get you high. And you don't even taste the cannabis in there.
But many people feel the tea's other effects.
What's the sensation like?
Yeah, I would say generally calm. You're a little lifted.
Now that cannabis is legal in California, consumers can expect edibles will be in more forms than just tea. But for now, Kikoko is focusing on getting their teas in dispensaries across Los Angeles. For Annenberg TV News, I'm Jordan Winters.
Jordan, what was it like to go to a high tea party?
Yeah, Maddie, it was a lot of fun, obviously. The women were so incredible and their hats, amazing, right?
Seriously.
But it's actually really funny because they started in the same town that actually 420 started. So yeah, I'm also from Marin County, so super funny. So it was just really great to kind of see how far that the industry has progressed and how far 420 has progressed also. But yeah, no, do you think that you'd ever go to a high tea party?
I think only if we could go together. I feel like you have it in now, so we can use that. But what I really want to ask is, this group is doing so much more than making this as a social experience. They're really hoping to change the way that people think, especially women, about marijuana.
Yeah, I think that they really want to make sure that it doesn't seem like it's a super scary and super, unpredictable kind of a drug, that it can be used in kind of the medicinal purposes that we've been seeing for quite some time when we think about medical cannabis. But for them, they really want to have us rethink what it means to self-medicate. And they did mention a lot of times that they encounter women who say, look, I've been using and abusing sometimes like sleeping medication or other opiates, to be quite frank. And they tell those women, well, guess what? You don't necessarily have to use those really hard drugs to self-medicate. So I just thought that was really interesting and how it kind of interacts with sort of the opioid crisis that we're seeing today, because something that's been pushed by a lot of cannabis experts and cannabis advocates is that look, this drug is a lot less harmful than some of the other things that people could be taking, and especially when you think about it in this way, that it can be something both casual and also kind of like the way that we consume other herbs like teas, that it totally is going to be there for you if you need it. So yeah, and I can tell you for sure it was pretty tasty. There's a lot of really good flavors in there, so I suggest it's not for everybody, totally understand, but it definitely is worth a shot.
Well, what a great story. Thank you so much for that.
Of course. Well, Maddie, if you also got to know that Lyft is actually offering a special discount today, and they're celebrating 420. So they're actually going to give you guessed it, $4.20 off your Lyft ride today. The discount only applies in cities where marijuana is legal, including right here in LA.
Thanks for joining us on this special edition of ATVN.
Have a safe and fun 420.